Hello, everybody. Welcome back to ESPN's Football Forecast with myself, James Allcott, and my good friend Hugh Woozencroft. We're going to dive into the Premier League's big games this weekend. It's back. International football is now put to the side for a good few months now, and we can really get into what is going to be a hectic period in the Premier League. Let's kick off with the first game of the weekend. 12:30 at the King Power Stadium, Leicester City against Chelsea. The big talking point as we make our way into this game probably isn't the football itself. It's actually Brendan Rodgers distancing himself from the Manchester United job. Hugh, what do you think about his comments about the Man United job? And what do you think that will do to the rest of the season for Leicester, who find themselves currently 12th in the league, but only 3 points off Man United in 6th? What do you think about the comments that he made recently?
Listen, we're going to talk about stepping stones a little bit later on. I think Brendan Rodgers has always been a careerist. He wants to be at one of the biggest clubs. He sees himself there in that elite level, managing a big club in the Champions League with some of the best players in the world. That has always, I think, been his target. And I don't think anyone that's worked with him thinks any differently, to be perfectly honest. Players, coaches, chairman, they all think he's good enough to get there. And I think, let's be honest, I think he believes that too. And why not? He's been great. Let's be perfectly honest. He's shown that he can improve players. He's shown that he can improve teams. And maybe he is destined for one of the big jobs. He's already been at Liverpool, of course. I don't know how the Man United fans would feel about that. But really, this is about Leicester and how it affects their season, how it affects their fans as well. I think they would be disappointed if he left. Certainly, if there is a project at Leicester, it's certainly not been finished just because they won an FA Cup. I think, look, they have been very good under him. There is more room for improvement. They've brought in a raft of players. They've supported him this summer in terms of a bigger squad, one that's able to cope with Europe and maybe go, a little bit further in the Premier League and guarantee themselves that top 4 spot as well. So he's been given the tools. As yet, he hasn't delivered that top 4 place for Leicester. He has delivered a cup. He hasn't really, by the way, in the Europa League, pulled up any trees either. And I think that would be the major concern. But listen, he said it was disrespectful to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, a good man, a good manager who's in position at Old Trafford, pointing the finger at the journalist. It was just classic diplomatic deflection. I mean, If Man United are on the phone tomorrow, I hate to break the news to Leicester fans, although I think they'll know it, he will be gone in a heartbeat.
I think by the end of this season, I reckon if we're chatting on this same day next year, I don't think Brendan Rodgers will still be the manager of Leicester City because he is ambitious and he wants these kinds of jobs. But I think at the moment, it just doesn't fit him or Man United when it comes to that job. But there's no doubt he would love to sink his teeth into a top job like that. And I actually think he could create more clarity for that football club in terms of how they play and a bit more dexterity as well, actually, in how they go and win games. And so I think he would actually be a good appointment for them. But yeah, of course, the Liverpool links are dangerous and threads that will be pulled at if he does go and get himself the job. The problems that he's had with Leicester City this year, because I think the problem that you have with that is that he doesn't want to plateau. And, in the Europa League and, of course, the league, it's not been that convincing. Conceding 2 goals all the time, 18 goals conceded this season so far, which is quite a lot for a team that wants to be in the top 4 this season. But they've got a great opportunity against Chelsea this weekend to really take a real scalp at home, which they have done in the past. And they take on a Chelsea side that, for me, are still my title favourites. I think they've had the answers for every question so far. I think they've also had not luck, but a bit of joy when it comes to the fixture list, where the injuries that they've had to Romelu Lukaku, that's coincided with a lovely run of games where they've gone and dominated those games. They've got these flying fullbacks that love to score goals at the moment. And for me, you look at Liverpool, who we're going to talk about, you think about Man City and the occasional woes that they have in terms of breaking down the opposition. I feel like Chelsea have got all the answers right now. And I think this is probably, for a home game, this is the toughest test that Leicester could have right now. But do you see them getting anything out of this game? Because, of course, they have got great personnel.
I don't think Chelsea are where they want to be right now, except for in terms of positionally, of course, in the Premier League. But
really? What do you mean?
Yeah, but in terms of their form, I think they know they can play a lot better. Yeah, they're not conceding a lot of goals, but I really feel like that all Chelsea fans will say, look, we're not at our best. No way we're at our best right now. Yes, it's going well. Yes, we've had but
they're very comfortable
of the fixtures, if you want to put it that way. They are a very strong squad. They are a very strong team, and they have a fantastic manager. But I think if they're going to win the Premier League, they will have to find another gear or two at some point. You know, Manchester City will come, Liverpool will come at some point. They'll put together a very good run and they will put that pressure on Chelsea. So it will be up to them to respond and put that run together themselves. When it comes to Leicester City this weekend, they're a very inconsistent side. That's why they're 12th in the Premier League. They put in some really good performances. Some weeks they just haven't shown up. I know they enjoy playing Chelsea. They've beaten them twice in 2021 already in all competitions. Can they go and do it again? Will they feel like this is a side that they are comfortable playing against? It will be an interesting one off the back of the international break. Maybe they won't be as fluid. Maybe Chelsea won't be as fluid. Pretty much all of their players go on international duty. A lot of Leicester's do as well. But I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be an interesting game. I think the result depends on whether Leicester show up, basically. If they play how they played against Arsenal, for example, they're not going to have a chance of winning this game. So it needs to be a bit of an improvement. And again, Chelsea, if it clicks, it works for them, they're going to win the game. Clearly, they've got a very good side. It's just whether it clicks for them on the day, especially if Lukaku isn't back once again. They're always seeming each week to be finding out a relationship between whoever starts. Is it going to be Werner back? Is he going to be back from injury? Is it going to be Kai Havertz? Is Hakim Ziyech going to get a start? Callum Hudson-Odoi? And those are the things that I think they're working out right now.
I think Chelsea are very, very good. I think all these different changes in personnel, I think that's actually, again, a strength. It gives them the answers. You know, you look at the injuries that Liverpool got right now, and I think that's what, that's something that Chelsea don't have to worry about. And they're getting not the best, but they're getting real output from Ross Barkley and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, players that were kind of left out in the wilderness. And I think they march on in this game. I think they find the answers. And I think two things are important here. One, Mason Mount was relieved of England duty due to his wisdom teeth being taken out. There's a video of that, actually. Go check it out. And also, Yuri Tillemans looks like he's a doubt for this game. And I think that's a massive, massive loss for Leicester. So for me, I feel like this is an away win. This is a win for Chelsea. And I think they continue to march on.
Hi, I'm Hugh Woozencroft from ESPN's Football Forecast. Make sure you're subscribed. You can follow all of our predictions throughout the season and get some other great analysis from our big names as well.